A local businessman and his two brothers about to start an almost 4,000-mile journey across the country on bicycles.
These men are all riding for charity to fundraise for causes that they believe in. And as our Jason Puckett found out, for Bobby Jenkins, it's personal.
Clip those into this.
For months, Bobby Jenkins has left work, put on his biking gear, and put mile after mile on the road.
A lot of what I do is to ride rural from here.
He's got the lightweight bike.
And comfort matters when you're on the road for a long, long time.
The gloves, odometer, and of course his helmet, all gearing up for the ride of his life.
70 miles in a day is one thing. 70 miles 2 days. 70 miles every single day. That's where it does become a little bit of a grind.
And that 70-mile routine will continue every day for 3,500 miles from Seattle to New York City. Oh, and did I mention he's 58?
I think when he told you at 58 that he was going to ride from the West Coast to the East Coast of the country.
Good luck. No.
And he's one-upped himself again, and he's very competitive, and so he has challenged himself for this.
I think people do think, man, at your age, 3,500 miles is a long way, but I think they know where my heart is.
Turns out Bobby's right. While his wife and daughters may give him a hard time, their real response?
For me, an overwhelming sense of love.
That's because Bobby is riding this journey for a purpose dear to the entire family.
My son Moss was a happy, healthy, thriving, almost 15-month-old boy.
3 years ago,
he was the cutest, friendliest little boy you would ever meet in your life.
Moss Jenkins, the first grandson in the family, was laid down for a nap.
When I checked on him, I found him unresponsive during his morning nap.
And so she started CPR right away. My wife called EMS.
After about 30 hours on life support, he then passed away.
In the midst of the family's worst moment, even more pain.
There was any cause that pointed to his death, and it's the same story with every family that we've met.
Doctors looking at the autopsies only able to say the cause of death unknown.
I think when you have a sudden unexplained death, I mean, we just can't accept that.
And thankfully, they didn't have to. A group in New York reached out with the first possible answers.
The Sudden Unexplained Death in Childhood Foundation.
You may be familiar with SIDS, Sudden Infant Death Syndrome, but
SUDC is completely different. It's for children 1 year to 17.
Knowing Moss died from SUDC isn't really an answer either, just a classification of so far unexplained deaths, but it gives the Jenkins purpose.
We've got to find answers as to what it is, what causes it, are there symptoms, what's it related to.
We've got to find answers, and we've got a little angel on our shoulder helping us along.
With his family at home supporting him and the memory of his grandson pushing him through every mile, Bobby will be riding from West Coast to East Coast to raise funds and awareness and to make sure no one else ever loses their Moss.
People know my heart and my passion for my grandchildren and for Moss. Every pedal along the way, I'm going to be thinking about Moss.
Jason Puckett, KVUE News, Nightbeat.
And we're going to keep up with the Jenkins brothers on their journey, and you can too.
They'll start Tuesday in Seattle, and they'll be posting updates on their website, brothersbike.org, until they get to New York.